You know what happened when you had a straightener?
I'm finally going to smoke you in front of everybody, bro.
I slammed you on the floor.
Okay, so today we're taking a look at Little T and Afghan Dan because they had a fight, like a proper official boxing match on that DAZN Misfits thing. And it went about as well as you probably think it did. Now, if you don't know the long and convoluted history of these two, let me very quickly catch you up. This is going to be a little trip down memory lane for me because I spoke about when these guys were initially beefing 8 years ago when Little T was 12 years old. And at first, they were the best of buddies, making songs together on a legendary channel called BG Media. And honestly, this song they did together still holds up to this day. Obviously not in terms of ability, just pure entertainment value. Here are some highlights from it.
Commenting shit, that's so sly. Commenting shit like I should die. I'm a 12-year-old kid, I am a bomb. I'll whack by you, be gone, Syria.
Night time in the hotel, get your ass bent over the bed, grab holding your leg while you're holding your head.
When people say the British don't have real culture, show them this video. A grown man meeting up with a group of 12-year-olds for the purposes of making a rap video where his verse is about shagging. I have never been to Blackpool, thank God. But I'd imagine if you boiled the essence of Blackpool down into a music video, this would be it. But right after this point, all hell broke loose. They were sending diss track after diss track to each other with no end in sight until yesterday when they hashed it out in the ring. And some of the content leading up to this fight was genuinely spectacular. Usually I fucking hate the little usually fake altercations and arguments fighters have before fights because I just find it really cringe because you can tell neither of the fighters really have any dislike or hatred for each other. They're just doing it for publicity's sake. But this is raw. This is 8 years of hatred for each other boiling over.
Afghan Dan, we'll start with you. How did this beef come around? Where did the distaste for Little T come from?
It's been a bit of back and forth between me and Josh on YouTube and that for like the past few years, really, I think.
The past few years. I think you're underselling it a bit there. It's been nearly a decade. Little T has gone from a year 7 to a fully grown man. This has been an odyssey.
And Little T, why do you dislike Afghan Dan? How did this start?
Why, mate? Because he's come out of jail, yeah? Come out of jail trying to send for T to get back relevant.
With all due respect, Little T, that was the meta 8 years ago. If Afghan Dan was really looking for relevancy, he'd send for the Rizzler or something. I wish there was more I could say about this Fred Talks fighting interview, but honestly, it's just 23 minutes of them shouting at each other and saying they're going to beat each other up. And honestly, I don't know what I expected from it. Like, I can't even say anything about this. It's just them going, yeah, I'm going to beat you up. No, you're not. I'm going to beat you up. No, I'm gonna beat you up.
You're gonna get hurt by a 21-year-old and you're pushing 30. You're pushing 30 and gonna get...
You're getting finished, bro.
You're pushing 30 and gonna get...
Afghan Dan and Little T finally going head-to-head in the ring. Afghan Dan, I believe the fallout began between you two when your opponent worked with Dylan Brewer on a diss track.
Bloody hell, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. If you're wondering what the announcer or whatever he's called was referring to and who Dylan Brewer is, oh, do I have something to show you? And it is this musical masterpiece. A diss track from fucking nearly a decade ago from Dylan Brewer and Little T on Afghan Dan.
Yo, Afghan Dan ain't no madman. Me and Little T gonna rush his man.
Yo, Afghan Dan ain't no madman. Me and Little T gonna rush his nan. Me and Little T gonna rush his nan. It's brilliant. It still holds up to this day. Also, I can't not address the elephant in the room. What a trim. But the best bit from old Dylan Brewer is yet to come.
That's how it is. That's how it is. Why have you got kids in your bin?
Have you hit your head? Have you forgotten where you are? You're in a car park with a load of other grown men and a small child making an honestly very racist diss track on someone.
And your mum is blazing guap. She is white, but you are not. She is white, but you are black.
This isn't the only bit. There's loads more, but I think you get the gist.
I put a brick, yeah, straight for your mum's car. Dumber gets dumber. Me and your mum under the covers.
Who put him up to this? Who put Little T... Like, 12-year-old Little T was not thinking of these bars, was he? Someone's put him up to it. Someone's stitched him up. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Help me get a career.
You ain't do nothing, bro.
Before, yeah?
You ain't gonna do nothing, bro.
Listen,
take your hat off. Take your hat off and show me more dirt.
Split for 7 days.
Not even smoked a spliff for 7 days. Oh, that is dedication to the craft of boxing. Not even smoked a spliff for 7 days. He says that as if it's been like a year. 7 days. Yeah, but I ain't even smoked a spliff since Saturday.
It's going to get happen legally in a ring where I can hurt you for 3 whole minutes. It's going to go through.
Bro, when I see you on road, yeah, I see you on person.
When I see you on... We are so back. We are so back as a country. I think when BG Media kind of fell out of sort of like the public eye and public relevance, this country began getting worse. But I think it's going to come back again. I hope it's going to come back again because, quite frankly, Britain needs it.
Do you think he's scared? Scared, bro. You seen him in there then? So he's trying to show me his arse and that, mate. Looking like P. Diddy.
What?
Who are your top 3 all-time BG Media? No one. I don't rate no one on BG. No one's on BG. I rate and set myself. That's it. Not even. They can't respect it, obviously. No one. There's not one person that I respect on BG Media.
Yes! Come on! Let's bring it back. You can't see my eyes right now, but they are currently lighting up with dollar signs like a cartoon character.
Called you a nonce up there today. Reaction to that?
Well, at the end of the day, Bo, look, he's 21 years old, yeah? And if I was to actually crack on with the kid, I could do, Bo. You get me? Because he's of age, Bo, so there's no nonce about it.
Can you,
What a fascinating answer. Most people reply to something so serious being said about them with some kind of PR rehearsed response, but not Dan. He goes, well, you know, if I wanted to crack on and shag him, I wouldn't be a pedo because he's 21. He didn't even need to stop and think for a second about that answer. We are so back. We are so back. So after all the pre-match shouting matches and responses to being called a pedo, it was time to get down to some good old-fashioned fighting. So who was I backing, you ask? And honestly, I was conflicted here. Do I back the now man whose controversial raps when he was a child helped me gain a career, or do I back the man I went to the pub with once 8 years ago? And the conclusion I came to is that I should back the sport of boxing, because no matter who wins this fight, boxing would be the real winner for gaining 2 absolutely stellar talents on that night in Manchester. Both agree all technical about the result. Little T won in the second round when Afghan Dan dislocated his shoulder. And I'm not going to show that footage because it made me fucking wince when I saw it. It is horrific. So I'm not going to make all of you watch it. If you want to watch it, you can seek it out yourself. But it was a stellar fight. Muhammad Ali would have been looking down proudly on this ring. For some reason, Afghan Dan kept spinning around. I'm not sure what his plan here was. Out of the maybe 10 or so boxing matches I've watched in my life, this was the best. Maybe not in terms of, actually definitely not in terms of ability. He was fucking spinning around every time a punch was thrown at him. But this was amazing entertainment value. Because usually, right, I know this might be a bit of a controversial opinion. I find boxing can sometimes be a bit boring. Like they just fucking hug each other and like there's not a lot happening a lot of time. This was fantastic. More boxing should be like this. And the brilliant thing is, we might be getting more.
You called out Bevo next. Just talk us through that.
Bevo, I took your fight. You probably jumped out of it. I want you, bro. Teeth on teeth.
Honestly, this is what influencer boxing was crying out for. You know, there's a time and a place for multimillionaires who've had 4-month-long training camps to beat each other up, but it's not here. It's not now. That era has long passed, in my opinion. The novelty's worn off. A lot of it is too serious for what it's supposed to be. We want Afghan Dan versus Little T and the winner to go on and fight Bevo. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I'm hoping this brings back a resurgence in this sort of thing because I've missed it. Also, I could do with the video ideas. And to the cries from people for me to fight someone on this DAZN Misfits thing, no, I'm scared of getting punched in the head.